Alright, good morning, gentlemen. My name is Staff Sergeant Rose. Today we're going to talk about sexual harassment and sexual assault. A little background on me. I'm a victim advocate for USERA, and I'm also the victim advocate for you, Nemesis Troop 42. The purpose of this informative speech is to identify and define what sexual harassment and sexual assault is and ways to report. After this speech, you should be able to define sexual harassment and sexual assault and know ways to report and who to report to. In fiscal year 2010, there were reported 3,158 total reports of sexual assault within the military. The DoD actually only estimates that to be 13.5% of the total reports for the year 2010. They believe the number to be more likely 19,000. So the numbers continually rise as the years go by. Sexual harassment and sexual assault are crimes both in the military and outside of the military. Today we will discuss the two types of sexual harassment. We will define what sexual harassment and sexual assault are, ways to report, and who to report to. Much of this information is coming from either AR 600-20 Command Policy or AR 27-10 Military Justice. Sexual harassment is defined as discrimination that involves unwelcome sexual advances, requests for sexual favor, physical contact that is sexual in nature. And who defines what sexual in nature is? The individual that reports the sexual harassment. So a comment could be defined as sexual in nature when you think it's just funny. Sexual harassment is categorized into two different categories. There's quid pro quo, which is Latin, meaning this for that. An example of quid pro quo would be, you do this for me, and I'll do that for you. The other one is hostile environment. A hostile environment is created when there is discriminated or unwelcome comments involved in the workplace that make an individual uncomfortable. Sexual harassment and sexual assault are both punishable under Uniform Code of Military Justice. Besides the two types of sexual harassment, there's also sexual assault. Sexual assault is defined as intentional sexual contact characterized by the use of force, the abuse of authority, or when the victim does not or cannot consent. The main difference between sexual assault and sexual harassment is the use of force, so i.e. rape or forcible sodomy. Both the definition sexual harassment and sexual assault have the word physical conduct. It's whenever use of force is played, is when it turns and transitions to sexual assault. Because sexual assault is a crime, both in the military and outside, we should know how to report and who to report to. You can report sexual assault to victim advocates such as myself, military police, staff judge advocates, or medical professionals. There are two types of reporting when you go and you report sexual assault. There's restricted reporting and unrestricted reporting. When you do restricted reporting, you're entitled to medical treatment and mental health treatment. Your anonymity is protected and an official investigation is never triggered. So the individual that did the event is never really held accountable. Then there's unrestricted reporting. With unrestricted reporting, you are still entitled to medical treatment, mental treatment. Your anonymity is no longer really protected because now an official investigation is triggered. And you can still go through the same channels to report, restricted or unrestricted. Once you've gone unrestricted, you cannot go back to restricted reporting. But if you stay with restricted reporting, you can always go to unrestricted. You can also report your event or incident to housing, so i.e. the event or incident happened in a housing environment. You can now have the chance to move from that military housing. Sexual harassment and sexual assault are crimes inside of the military and outside of the military. Today we've discussed the two types of sexual harassment. We've defined what sexual harassment is and what sexual assault is, defined the ways to report it and who to report to. That's it.